Hello from Singapore. This is Diana here from NoFixedAddress4us. I'm currently on board the Spectrum of the Seas, RCCL's beautiful cruise ships stationed here in Singapore. Today we're actually arriving in Singapore, but we're doing a back-to-back cruise, which means that we're now going on to the next cruise that is embarking today. Just wanted to talk to you briefly about your first cruise, or even just a reminder if you haven't cruised before about how to get ready for your cruise. Once you're booked and you actually can check in, what we recommend is that you check in as soon as you possibly can. In other words, if you get an email saying you can now officially check in for your cruise, go ahead and do it. Or just watch for that particular date and be ready to check in. So with all of your documentation and everything, so that you check in, but also at that time you get to pick what time you want to get on the ship. So the best suggestion is to pick the earliest possible time. Even if you can't make it then, even if your transportation, etc. doesn't get you here in time, it means when you do arrive, you can instantly get on board. You can get in the line and you can check in. So always go for the earliest possible one. Of course, my number one suggestion for a cruise is that you come at least a bare minimum of the night before. Don't plan to arrive on the day the cruise leaves. There's just too many variables, too much stress, and why cram that in if you can avoid it? Stretch your holiday out, or your work holiday, whatever it may be, and come at least the night before. If at all possible, we always try to go 2 or 3 days early, because that then allows you a chance to explore wherever you're leaving from, so that you can combine a little bit of a land-based holiday with your cruise. And of course, it just means that you're not stressed. If there's a time change, you've already adjusted a little bit to whatever time change applies. So when you arrive, the first thing that we recommend doing is dropping your bags off. Even if you've got carry-on, it's just so much easier. We always just come with carry-on, but we still check it in, because that's just one less bag to carry around. So you just bring a little bag with you for whatever you might want for the day on board, especially keeping in mind you're going to get on board early, so you want to plan for the whole day. So whether that's a book, a bathing suit, a change of clothes, sandals, etc., just bring whatever you want. As soon as we get on board, the first thing we do is go to the dining room. You've already chosen whether you want my time dining, which means that you can dine at any time you want, or a fixed dining. We, again, just personal choice. We always choose my time dining. We go into the dining room right away and speak to the maitre d', take a look around the dining room. And sometimes a little tip is just to be very confident about it, about the fact that you're well cruised and there's a certain type of a table that you want. We prefer to dine by ourselves, table for 2, but we always ask for a table for 4. And invariably we get a table for 4. It just means the table is a little larger. It also means with my time dining that as we meet people along the cruise, we can in fact invite them to join us for dinner. So it's a nice little feature. The tables for 2 are invariably right beside each other. So we don't even consider them tables for 2s. They're table for 6 divided by 3 times. So go to the dining room, walk around with the maitre d', and just give your suggestions on what kind of table you want. If you're going, lots of people choose window tables. For us, because we tend to dine later, a window table doesn't really mean much to us because it's dark outside. For us, it's more about being away from the kitchen, being away from the workflow where all the waiters are walking by, so being a little bit off to the side, and most importantly, private. Anyway, that's a whole other different discussion, but that's why it's the first thing that we do. Again, you get on the ship early, you go to the dining room. If you love to read like we do, the next stop is the library to pick up a book or 2 depending on the length of the cruise, and there's often lots of choices lots of choices there. So those are the things that we do. And the next thing that we do is go to the muster drill. It's simple. You just go in, you check in, and then you are completely done. You are completely checked in, and you can just go and enjoy the ship at your leisure. The cabins, usually they say they're not going to be ready till about 3 or 4, but they're just covering themselves there. They're always ready between about 1 and 2, unless there's something unusual going on with your cabin. So you can, if you get there early, you can enjoy the day. And the first day then is actually a beautiful day at sea, and it's not just one that you're running around like crazy trying to figure out. So all you have to do is enjoy yourself and wait until, usually it's about 4:30 or 5 for the sail away party, and your cruise has officially begun. If you have any questions at all about tips on getting on board or anything to do with embarkation, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer you or find out the answer. Thanks again for joining me from No Fixed Address for Us, coming to you from beautiful Singapore. I just will show you a couple of views of this port here. Oh, the sky's getting a bit lighter. It was a really dark and dreary morning this morning. That's the famous hotel with the boat on top and the Ferris wheel. It's a beautiful, beautiful green city. Singapore is known for being extremely clean. There are fines for littering. You just don't see litter anywhere. It's illegal to chew gum. You can't put a cigarette out on the ground. It's a beautiful, beautiful city with lots to do. And it's a nice, active, very busy port. Lots of the container ships come in. And this is just a view of the Spectrum on the outside. You can see the various balcony categories, cabins. And then the inside cabins, of course, are in between, in the middle. Thank you, thank you. We're now heading out for our next cruise. So we're just doing a back-to-back. So we're staying on board and just enjoying the peace and quiet. And we'll set sail again, heading off to Malaysia. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you again soon.